Well, hi everybody. I've got to start out by apologising. I've not released any videos just lately because I've been just so busy it's untrue. I've been building myself a new website, that's what's taken my time up, and this is what you're sort of seeing now. It's brand new right from start to finish. This is the new front page. There's plenty of information on there if anybody wants to know anything about fish and ponds and that sort of thing. I've got loads of information and a section for pond beginners down here and loads of other stuff on there basically. So pop along and have a look at my website. If you do find anything wrong with the website, I would really appreciate it if you let me know. If you could just pop along and have a look and tell me what you think. Like I say, it's all brand new. Any teething problems I'd really like to know about as soon as possible. Anyway guys, that's that bit, that's what I've been doing. So now we're going to go down and have a look at the pond and see how things are going down there, because it has been slightly neglected just lately. Well guys, here we are down by the pond. Like I say, I haven't done a lot out here for the past week or so. It's a beautiful day, we've got a gorgeous day here today, but they give it coming cold again tonight, possible frost. I mean, my pond temperature last week got to about 13.8, something like that. It was nearly 14 degrees and I thought, now's the time we'll whip the pond covers off. What a good job I didn't. We've had nothing but cold nights, cold days really, sort of 8 or 9 degrees, and we've had several frosts, so I'm quite pleased I left my pond covers on. We'll nip and have a look at the pond temperature in a minute, but I'm really pleased I left the pond covers on. And I still don't take them off because we're still getting cold nights. But like I say, we've got a fantastic day here today, the best one we've had in a long while. Everything looks good in the pond. I'll tell you what I have noticed this year, the first time ever. So whether it's the younger fish or what, I don't know, but I've got bits of lilies floating in the pond. So they're pulling my lilies to bits, and I've never had that before. So I'm not quite sure how my lilies are going to do this year. They have started to come up. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it, but they have started to come up, and they are sending leaves up. But unfortunately they seem to be pulling them to bits. But there you go, that's koi for you. They will do. Probably if I want to get my pond plants back in the pond, it might just stop them doing that. But at the moment they're pulling my lilies to pieces. I do believe it is the younger fish, to be quite honest. But my pond covers are still on the pond, and I'm quite pleased I didn't take them off last week. I was so tempted to. Like I say, we've got just under 14 degrees temperature in the pond. I will be doing in the next few days, I think. Even if I just take them off, leave the backs as ports on, and then if it decides to come really cold again, I can just put them back over. We all love to get the pond covers off and see our fish and get things going, but you've still got to be sensible about it. And like I say, there was a little bit of a frost this morning. Nothing bad, but there was a little bit of a frost this morning. So a good job I didn't. Now the pond plants, let's nip and have a look at the pond plants, see how they're doing. I haven't had the lid up on them for quite some time, so we'll nip and see how they're doing. Well, here we are in the quarantine holding tank. Oh wow, they are really growing. And to be quite honest, they're growing bigger than I really want them to. I don't know whether you'll get an idea of the size of them. Let me come round this way. They're a lot bigger than I want them, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with them. I don't know whether to cut them down and see if they grow again. They're a lot taller than I want, or just to pull them out and put some new younger stuff in. But they are a lot bigger than I want around the side of the pond. As you know, I want to keep to lower plants. I don't want anything too big. The miniature irises are coming up really well. They're coming up nicely. And like I say, they don't get too big them, so they're going really well. But as for these, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I'm either going to cut them down or take them out and get some new ones. Pop up my pond shop and get some smaller new ones, because they was lovely last year, nice and low. But these have really shot up. Since the last time I looked in here, They've really shot up. So here in the filter house, we're showing an outside temperature of 17 degrees, so that's not too bad at all. I thought it was a little bit more, but my pond temperature, like I say, has fallen some. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, we're showing 12, it's 12 plus just, so that's not too bad at all. It says 20 there, but it's not 20 outside. It's about 17, I think. But yeah, that's still not bad for the pond temp. It did get down to 11, so I went back onto the wheat germ koi food, because I was giving them a little bit of normal food when we got to about 13. But I've now gone back to the wheat germ because we're down to about 11 or 12 degrees. Everything else is running spot on. I've had no problems anywhere. It's all going good. The RDF is as good as gold. It's the same as usual. I just leave that thing and it gets on with it. Basically very good. I do give it a spray off with normal water over the top of the gully, so it all goes out the gully, just to clean the mesh up a little bit. I do that once every month and a half. It's going really well. These I did fit, if you remember rightly, on here I did fit this timing belt, because the washing machine belts we was using were stretching. They're not supposed to stretch, but they do stretch. So I changed around, I put a timing pulley on there, timing belt pulley. I put some slots in my big pulley wheel, and I used a timing belt, put this on months ago, and I've not touched it since, and it's still tight, still really tight. That's not stretched at all. So that was a really good idea, putting that on there. I'm well pleased with that. The moving bed, as you know, I changed that to having two air stones on it, and the movement I've got in there now is perfect. That's just how I want it. And it's run by a 40 litres a minute air pump. I showed you the new air pumps, didn't I? Run by 40 litre a minute air pump, and the movement on it is brilliant. There's 100 litres of media in there roughly, so I'm really pleased with that. Great stuff. There's not any static media, it's all moving. There's a little bit collects around the filter cages, but you expect that. Great stuff, I'm pleased with that. Now the river, as you can see, we've got a good flow coming out of the river. I'll just shut that down again. We've got a good flow coming out of the river. It might just want a little bit of a clean. Might just want a bit of a clean out after the winter, but it's all running well in there. So that should be good this year. I'm looking forward to that. What I have done is here, I've got myself, the RDF's decided to go off. Just let me shut the lid. It'll be a little bit quieter. That's better. I've got myself some Pure Pond, this Pure Plus. Basically it's a gel bacteria, and I shall be adding that to my filters. As long as the water doesn't get any colder, I shall drop that in here, just to give the bacteria a bit of a kickstart, just to help to get going, ready for the summer, spring and summer basically. So I've got that ready to go in. This is why basically I don't have my UV after the filter. I have it before the filter, because if I was to put my UV after the filter, any bacteria coming from these filters, this good bacteria that you want in your pond as well, it would be killed off by the EVO, by the UV light. That would kill any bacteria coming from the filters. So I have it so it comes in before and then goes to the filters. That way it's not harming too much bacteria and still doing its job. One of the other reasons why I don't have my UV light after the filter is because it's there to kill bloom algae. The algae that causes green water, it stops you getting green water in your pond, and if it's killing the bloom algae, it really doesn't want to be flowing straight back to the pond. The bloom algae that it's actually killing, what it actually does is change the DNA of the blue algae and it dies. It basically runs to my filter and the filter takes it out. If you have your UV after your filter, Yes, it does get a clean water feed, but it's sending all the dead algae, the bloom algae that's died, back to your pond. And I'd sooner have it before my filters. It's a matter of personal preference really, but I'd sooner have it before the filters, so any bloom algae that it does kill off, I like to get it taken out straight away by my filters and not send it back to the pond. But everything else is great stuff in here, really going well. Quite pleased with it. I'm still having to clean that pump out about every 3 days. My pump, since I've had to take my pre-pump filter off. Now I've got my website done, I want to get stuck into that, as it worked spot on, but like I say, we had problems with the paint. The problem I had with the pre-filter and the paint blistering wasn't the actual vacuum in the tub. That wasn't the problem. The problem I found out was that I had used a water-based paint on top of a solvent-based paint, and as most of you will know, that doesn't work. You can't put water-based on top of solvent-based paint, and that was the problem I had. The solvent-based, it's not actually a paint, it's a lacquer that they come with. It's already on them when you buy them new, so there's not a lot you can do about it. But there you go. I was hoping, because it was an acrylic I was using, it might just dry hard enough to hold it, but it didn't. There you go, you learn something every day. So I want to get stuck into that again. Now I'm back in action. It's just the weather, that's the thing. Well, what you see me doing here is, in previous videos I did mention that my Karcher had packed up, my pressure washer, which I do use quite a bit, to be honest. It was 5 or 6 years old, so it's probably done its work by now. So I've had to actually treat myself to a new one. But there you go, it's just come, it's in the box. I'm going to get it out, put it all together. What I usually like to do is, once we do get the pond covers off, I do like to go around with the Karcher and just clean all the brickwork and the top copings up, just to make sure everything's nice and clean for the start of the season. So, and I also use it for just a quick clean on the RDF mesh. That cleans it up a treat. I do that 2 or 3 times a year with the Karcher, just to clean it off. So after the winter I'd like to give it a good go as well. So as the other one's packed up, I've had to buy myself a new one. So I should get this out of the box and get it all put together. Well, there we go. They do say these things are easy to put together. That's it all out of the box and all the bits. So we'll see how easy it is to put together. That's the next job. Well, there we go, all together. Wasn't too bad a job at all. I did get 2 screws in the wrong place and had to swap them round. But apart from that, I really must start reading plans, you know, and instructions. But apart from that, all went together quite well. So she's ready for the off. So that's my new pressure washer. I did actually make myself a sign for the shed. I hope you can see it there. Just a little sign to put on the shed. I made that with the CNC router. If my hands stop shaking, holding the camera up in the air, so my hands are shaking a little bit, but that's the sign I made for my shed. I also made another one for the shed down the other end, on the big one, and it was something that the wife suggested, basically. So you know me, I always do as the wife says. And I've actually made one for this shed, if we can get in there. We're towards the sun really, and I can't see on my screen what you can actually see, but that's the one I made for the bigger shed down there. I hope you can see it. I can't see my screen on my camera, so hope you can see that. That was totally the wife's idea, nothing to do with me, but there you go. She actually did buy me a sign for my shed. There. She bought me that. Bless her. That, as you know there, was my 2 attempts at a pre-pump filter, which has taught me quite a lot really. I've done quite well. I've got something going through in my head now. So I'm hoping to get started and see if we can build something that lasts, basically. So that's definitely going to be coming up in the next video or 2. How I build the new pre-pump filter, a sieve filter. But that'll be coming up in future videos. Now I hope you can see them bits of lily. on the top of the pond. They've been pulling my lilies to pieces, which was what koi do. They're good at it. They're good at pulling your lilies to bits, but mine have never bothered with them. All I can think of is it's the young ones that I put in. They're the ones that's pulling the lilies to pieces, I think. So basically, I don't know whether you can remember the one right down the bottom there, which was the one I bought off eBay, the expensive one. I can't see anything coming off that because I think they've been eating it. So they're ruining my best lily, but there you go. I'm not quite sure what I can do about that. Not a lot, I don't think. Now, one of the big jobs I've got coming up this year, or want to really look into this season, is my power consumption. I'm really going to have a go at getting that down this year. My pond pump alone is 165 watt, and then I've got a couple of air pumps. I've got a pump in the river, and I've got a pump on my skimmer. So I'm tending to use quite a bit of electric, and I want to have a look at that this year, see if I can get it down slightly. Anyway guys, I've ranted on enough. So from a very sunny South Lincolnshire, I'd just like to say thanks for watching, do take care, and as always, happy ponding.